The majority of the American people found the unfolding spectacle deeply troubling. What played out across social media and television screens resembled less a serious exchange of ideas and more a surreal clown show, one stripped of the decorum, propriety, and basic respect for the office that once defined public life. Yet on this particular evening, two of the most consequential figures in modern American history sat across from each other under the harsh glare of studio lights. One projected raw confidence bordering on defiance. The other carried himself with quiet, almost unnerving authority. A single question would soon shatter the fragile civility, leaving the live audience stunned, the nation divided, and millions questioning what true leadership actually demanded in an era of fractured trust. The studio lights glowed with an intense, almost theatrical brightness, casting long, dramatic shadows across the polished stage. Every seat in the auditorium was filled. The audience buzzed with a low, electric hum of anticipation. Journalists, political insiders, everyday citizens, and curious observers who had managed to secure tickets to what was billed as a rare, unscripted conversation between two presidents who represented opposed visions of American power. At the center of the stage sat two sleek, modern chairs positioned face-to-face, separated only by a small wooden table, holding two glasses of water and a single microphone stand. To the left sat Donald J. Trump, the current president of the United States, his posture upright, his signature red tie perfectly knotted, his expression one of practiced readiness. To the right sat former President Barack Obama, dressed in a crisp, dark suit, his demeanor relaxed, yet intensely focused, legs crossed comfortably as if he were settling in for a long, thoughtful discussion rather than a confrontation. From a distance, the scene appeared deceptively simple. Two men, two chairs, one conversation. Up close, the atmosphere crackled with historical weight. These were not merely politicians. They embodied colliding philosophies of governance, one rooted in disruption, spectacle, and immediate wins, the other in deliberation, coalition building, and institutional steadiness. The moderator, a respected journalist known for even-handedness, stepped forward to welcome the crowd. "Tonight," she began, "we explore what leadership truly means in divided times. Two leaders who have shaped this nation in profoundly different ways. Let's begin." Both men exchanged polite, professional smiles. Trump leaned forward slightly, exuding the energy of a man who had never met a stage he didn't intend to own. Obama sat back, observant, his hands folded loosely in his lap. The initial tone felt almost collegial. The moderator offered a light remark about the value of civil discourse between ideological opposites. Scattered chuckles rippled through the audience. Both leaders nodded. But beneath the surface pleasantries, tension simmered. Everyone present understood this was no ordinary town hall. This was a clash of eras, temperaments, and definitions of power itself. Trump was invited to speak first. He wasted no time. Adjusting his jacket with a quick tug, he launched into his remarks with characteristic vigor. His voice boomed across the studio, rich with conviction. "Leadership," Trump declared, "is about results, real, tangible results that people can see, touch, and feel in their everyday lives. Great leaders build. They create wealth. They negotiate deals. They don't waste time with endless talk and pretty speeches. They act. They win. That's what the American people want. Action, strength, and victory." He spoke at length about his record. Economic growth before external shocks, trade renegotiations, border security measures, and a foreign policy that he claimed commanded respect through demonstrated power rather than apology. "Some people," he continued, his gaze sweeping the room, "focus on optics and symbolism. They give beautiful addresses. They get applause from the right crowds. But what do they actually deliver? Empty promises. I deliver. The numbers don't lie. Jobs, security, strength. That's leadership." The audience listened intently. Some nodded vigorously. Others remained stone-faced. Trump's energy was magnetic, his pacing rapid, his gestures emphatic. He painted a picture of leadership as a relentless forward march, undeterred by critics, media, or bureaucratic inertia. "You have to be tough," he emphasized. "Weakness invites chaos. Strength brings peace through respect, or fear if necessary. But results are what matter." Throughout Trump's opening, Obama remained perfectly still. He did not interrupt. He did not roll his eyes or shift uncomfortably. His face was a mask of attentive neutrality, occasionally offering a small, polite nod. This calm unsettled parts of the crowd. Trump's words carried an implicit critique of his predecessor, yet Obama absorbed them without visible reaction. The tension in the room thickened like gathering storm clouds. When Trump concluded, the moderator turned to Obama. A pregnant pause followed. Obama adjusted his posture slightly, looked out at the audience, and let the silence linger, just long enough to command attention. Then he smiled, a small, measured, thoughtful smile that conveyed neither aggression nor deference. "Thank you," Obama began, his voice smooth, measured, and carrying the precise cadence that had once captivated millions. "I appreciate President Trump sharing his perspective. Leadership does mean different things to different people, and that's part of what makes our democracy vibrant." He leaned forward subtly. "But let's be clear, leadership in a democracy, especially the presidency, is not the same as running a business empire. When you lead a nation of over 330 million souls, each with their own dreams, struggles, backgrounds, and deeply held beliefs, success cannot be measured solely by buildings erected, stock market numbers, or short-term wins. Those matter, of course. Results matter. But public leadership carries a heavier burden, the responsibility of earning and maintaining the trust of people who disagree with you, sometimes vehemently." The audience grew quieter. Obama's tone was gentle, yet forceful, like a river carving through stone over time. "Trust," he continued, "is the most difficult thing to build, harder than any skyscraper. It requires consistency, honesty, and the willingness to serve not just your base, but the entire country. When success seems to flow primarily toward a narrow circle, family, loyalists, or personal brand, citizens rightly begin to ask, is this leadership in the public interest, or is it leadership in the service of personal ambition?" Trump shifted in his seat, his expression sharpening. The subtle barb had landed. Obama pressed on with deliberate patience. "Leadership demands balance. Bold action is necessary, yes, but action without wisdom, without regard for long-term consequences, without accountability, can erode the very foundations of the republic. Power that inspires only fear eventually breeds resentment. Power rooted in trust endures." The exchange intensified. Trump countered energetically, reiterating that people were tired of talk. They want borders secured, economies booming, America respected again, not more lectures. His voice rose with passion. Obama listened, then responded by acknowledging the need for decisiveness while warning that unchecked power, divorced from institutional norms and moral consistency, risked transforming leadership into something unrecognizable, more personal fiefdom than constitutional stewardship. They traded points on strength versus stability, speed versus sustainability. Trump championed disruption and winning at all costs. Obama spoke of healing divisions, though he admitted the challenges, and the necessity of institutions that outlast any single occupant of the Oval Office. The audience remained rapt, sensing history unfolding in real time. The moderator eventually steered the conversation toward a more personal dimension, the role of family in shaping leadership decisions. Trump seized the opportunity. His tone grew warmer, almost paternal. "Family is everything. It's the core. It gives you purpose, loyalty, the drive to build something lasting for the next generation. I fight for my family, for their future, for the legacy we leave. A leader who stands by his family demonstrates real character. Blood is thick. You protect what's yours." He spoke movingly about legacy, protection, and the personal stakes that motivated tough choices. Many in the audience, regardless of politics, found resonance in the universal appeal of family bonds. Obama listened respectfully. When his turn came, he began by agreeing. "Family does shape us. It teaches values, resilience, love. Most leaders draw profound strength from their spouses, children, and parents." His voice remained warm at first. Then it deepened. "But in positions of immense power, family loyalty must be balanced by something greater: public accountability. A leader cannot allow personal ties to create blind spots. When loyalty to family or inner circle supersedes honesty, truth, or the rule of law, governance suffers. Protecting one's own at all costs can become a dangerous shield against uncomfortable realities." The room's temperature seemed to drop. Obama paused, then delivered the line that would redefine the night. He looked directly at Trump and asked with measured calm, "What is the name of Barron's mother?" A stunned silence blanketed the studio. Trump's face registered genuine surprise, then visible irritation. The question, seemingly innocuous on the surface but loaded with implication and context, hung heavily. Whispers rippled through the audience. Cameras captured every micro-expression. Obama continued before discomfort could spiral. "This isn't about embarrassment. It's about the principle. When leaders wrap themselves in an image of perfect family loyalty as armor, it can obscure deeper truths. Loyalty is noble, but blind loyalty becomes corruption. In the highest office, personal shields must yield to public responsibility. Honesty must precede tribal physical defense. Trump pushed back forcefully, defending family as a source of strength, not weakness. His responses grew more rapid, more heated. Obama remained composed, redirecting the conversation back to principles. The difference between private affection and public duty, the corrosive effect of nepotism or unchecked favoritism, and the necessity that even the most powerful must answer to standards higher than blood ties. The debate had transcended policy. It now probed character, judgment, and the soul of leadership. As exchanges continued, Obama leaned in, his voice steady but piercing. Leadership becomes dangerous when loyalty and power merge too completely. When a leader prioritizes name, family, brand, or personal empire above the Constitution and the people's trust, the republic itself is endangered. Power used as a personal shield ceases to serve the nation. Trump's usual bombast met an immovable wall of calm logic. His retorts, once dominant, began sounding defensive. The contrast was stark, rapid-fire assertions versus deliberate, layered reasoning. The audience sensed the momentum shifting. Then came the moment etched into memory. After another passionate defense of loyalty from Trump, Obama paused, allowing silence to amplify the gravity. In a quiet, unwavering tone that carried across the stunned studio, he stated, "Arrest this man for incest." Gasps echoed. The audience froze. Trump appeared momentarily paralyzed, his face a mask of shock and fury. The accusation, extreme, symbolic, and designed to shatter decorum, represented the ultimate escalation, a moral challenge accusing the fusion of power and personal taboo as the ultimate betrayal of public trust. It was not literal legal advice, but a rhetorical hammer, forcing the room to confront the darkest implications of unchecked loyalty and insulated power. Chaos threatened. Trump rose abruptly, his chair scraping loudly. "I have better places to be," he snapped, voice strained with anger. Without further engagement, he exited the stage, leaving an empty chair and a vacuum of presence. The studio fell into shocked hush. Then, slowly, applause built. Not raucous cheering, but a sustained, thoughtful ovation for the intellectual and moral clarity that had prevailed. Obama remained seated, composed, almost serene. No gloating, no celebration. He simply continued. "Leadership," he said softly into the microphone, "is not measured by volume or spectacle. It is tested in moments like these, when difficult truths must be faced. When power is challenged not by louder shouting, but by steady adherence to principle. Real strength does not flee uncomfortable questions. It confronts them. It serves something larger than self or family. It serves the idea of America itself." He spoke at length about the moral architecture required of the presidency, humility in victory, courage in accountability, and the wisdom to know that no man is above the institutions designed to restrain ambition. The audience listened, transfixed, as he painted a vision of leadership rooted in service, reflection, and enduring democratic norms, rather than transient personal triumphs. Power without restraint corrupts. Loyalty without honesty blinds. True leadership demands we look beyond our immediate circle and comfort zones. It asks us to build bridges, not just walls, to heal, not just conquer, to leave the country better, not just more loyal to one man. As the applause swelled once more, Obama stood, offered a respectful nod to the empty chair across from him, and concluded, "This is the essence of leadership. Not dominance, but duty. Not inherited shields, but earned trust. May we all demand and deserve no less." The lights dimmed on a stage forever marked by the evening's intensity. Outside, the nation grappled with what it had witnessed, a raw contest between two philosophies, two temperaments, and two futures. The clown show of modern discourse had briefly given way to something deeper, a mirror held up to power itself, and in that reflection, many saw uncomfortable truths they could no longer ignore.